Before your first couples therapy session, you can already make a lot of progress that can help improve your relationship. So many people arrive in my office and they have their arms crossed and they have a list of grievances about their partner. And this is the biggest way that I have learned over my years of doing couples work to waste a lot of time and money and effort and to end up feeling more disappointed and disconnected at the end of your first couples therapy session than if you hadn't come in at all. Hi, my name is Tom Brewitt. I am a licensed marriage and family therapist and a sex and relationship expert. I work a lot with the LGBTQ community, but this video is going to be for anybody who is thinking about starting couples therapy and how to get a really, really strong start before you even begin the work with the therapist. When I was a younger therapist, I didn't have much experience with couples and relational work. And so I can remember a very early session where I didn't do the kind of preparatory work that I am going to be sharing with you today with my couple before they arrived. And it was very clear when the couple arrived that they had just had a huge fight before they got into my office. And it was the first session, and so I started with, all right, where would you like to start today? And before we even got going, they each had a huge list of grievances about the other person. And they were angry and totally fed up, and it took me the entire session to get them both to a place where they were regulated and calm and we could even begin our work together. And so I am sharing this video because if you are considering couples therapy, I really, really, really want you to have a more positive experience. And that can start before you even step into the office, whether that's virtual or in person. And you can actually have a really positive step. You can actually have a really positive start if you think about some of the stuff before you begin the work with the therapist. Okay, so one of the things I want to talk about with you today is getting really clear about your relationship North Star before you even begin the couples work. What do I mean when I say a relationship North Star? Okay, so if you were to take a moment and think about the kind of relationship that you want to be in, what qualities or differences would be in that ideal relationship when you think about the relationship that you're currently in? So for example, maybe you want a relationship where there is more intimacy or sex or connection, or a relationship where there is less fighting, or a relationship where you feel more seen and heard and it feels more balanced. Whatever that relationship that you are hoping to create looks like, it doesn't matter so much what that North Star is. It really matters that you have a North Star and that you and your partner and the couples therapist are all working in the same direction. And so it's really important if you take a few moments, pause this video if you have to, but take a few moments and think about, journal about, reflect on, meditate on, what is the relationship that you hope to create? What does it look like? What does it feel like? What is different about that relationship than the current relationship that you're in? That's going to help provide a roadmap for which direction that you want to go in the couples therapy work. Okay, number two. One thing to really, really think about is when you think about that ideal relationship that you're working towards, what is something that you're currently doing that is getting in the way of you having that relationship that you want? What is one behavior that you can stop doing? And if you stop doing this one thing, it will have a profoundly positive impact on helping create the relationship that you want to have for yourself. So some examples of this could be, okay, I know when I get angry, I lose my cool really quickly and I yell at my partner. And so that may be something that you want to stop doing. You want to stop yelling at your partner. Or maybe when you get really frustrated, you actually tend to withdraw and you ice your partner out and you don't talk to them for weeks on end. That may be a behavior that you want to look at and think about stop doing. Whatever the behavior may be, and it doesn't have to be a long list of 17 behaviors, when you think about that ideal relationship that you want to create, what is the number one behavior that if you stopped doing it, it's going to make it more likely that you are going to be able to create the relationship that you hope and dream about? The second part of that is, what is a behavior that you can start doing instead of that behavior that will, again, have a really profoundly positive impact on your relationship? So I'll use some of the examples I was just sharing. So if you're somebody that when you get really angry, you tend to lose your cool and yell at your partner, So the behavior you want to stop doing is you want to stop yelling at your partner. And the thing that you want to start doing is that you want to take 4 deep breaths and walk around the block when you're feeling angry before having a conversation with your partner. So again, what is that thing that you want to start doing that if you started doing that thing instead of the behavior you wanted to stop doing, it could have a really profound impact on your relationship? Using the other example that I shared, okay, if you're somebody who, again, when you get really frustrated, you withdraw and you ice your partner out for weeks on end, you may want to stop doing that. You may want to stop icing your partner out. And then what do you want to start doing instead? Do you want to do a meditation, a guided meditation, and then take a risk and try to start a conversation with your partner again? Maybe you need to journal about what it is that you're feeling and maybe talk to a friend or a therapist before you come back and talk to your partner about it. Whatever it may be, those 2 behaviors are linked. So the behavior you want to stop doing that is really negatively impacting your relationship, and then the behavior you want to start doing instead. And there are countless examples of people who I've worked with who have figured this out, and it can, again, make a really profound impact on the quality of your relationship. Okay, if you are enjoying or getting something out of what I'm talking about right now, in the link below, there is a link to a free mini communication course. You can take a look at that. It goes over a few more concepts that you can look at before you begin couples therapy. You can do this little mini communication course on your own, and it's going to only build on the things that we've been talking about before. It's completely free, and it's built on some of the concepts that I've learned over the years working with couples, some of the concepts that are also in my book, The Go-To Relationship Guide for Gay Men. These are things that I have found time and time again help people make breakthroughs in their communication with their partners. And we know that most people start couples and relational therapy, and their biggest complaint is we have communication issues. And so if you have communication issues, I highly recommend you just take a look at this free resource that I'm providing. Okay, the last thing that I want to talk about today that you can start doing before you even get into the couples therapy room is it's really, really important that you think about 2 topics that you want to discuss over the course of your first month in couples therapy, or the first couple of months in couples therapy. So many people come in and they start the session and they haven't really thought again about positive things that they want to work on in their relationship with their partner. And these topics don't have to be positive. I don't want to kind of give that impression. They could be things like sex or intimacy or communication. But if you say communication, get really clear on what about your communication you want to work on. Do you want to work on that emotional distance that can happen between you and your partner? Do you want to work on kind of loud, angry fights? What is the specific thing that you want to work on around communication? And if it's sex, again, what is the specific piece of that topic that you want to work on? You don't have to have it all figured out. Of course, that's what your couples therapist is going to help you with. But if you can show up with 2 ideas of things that you want to work on over the next month or couple months of your couples therapy work, you are going to be light years ahead of most people who start that process. Because a lot of people show up and they have no idea what they want to work on. They are frustrated and angry and hurt, and there's been so much pain and disconnection in their relationship that they show up and they are already spent. Okay, if you got something out of this video and you want to check out another video from me, there's one here on some tips for gay men to have better sex. And so if that feels applicable to you, take a look at this video, and thanks for joining me today.